Storytime about my weird cellmate. So a little background information, I was 17 years old and a junior in high school. Yes, I was 17 and I was being charged as an adult, so I was in with a bunch of women. Well, one night after dinner, my cellmates and I are watching true crime shows, because that's what you do when you're in jail, watch true crime and CSI and all that shit. Anyway, so we're watching our shows and we see a new girl come in. She's got her blanket packed and we're all being warm and welcoming. And immediately, all of us could sense that something was off with this chick. Immediately, she starts going off about how she has a problem with the TV show we're watching. She did not like the fact that we were watching crime shows. She was like, oh my gosh, you guys really need to turn this off like right now. Low-key thought I was gonna see her on there or some shit. But yeah, she was just being super paranoid and we're sitting there like, girl, we have 10 channels. 7 of them are going to be true crime and 2 of them are the news. Oh, and the other channel was black and white movies and nobody wanted to watch that shit. So then I asked her if she unalived someone, life for part 2. Part 2 about my weird cellmate. So like I said, I asked her if she unalived someone before, because only somebody who unalived somebody would be triggered over us watching true crime, but she completely ignores me. So the first night, something happened with this girl. It was low-key, very, very weird. Me and my other cellmates were like, this girl's weird as hell. Why is she here? And then the next day was the icing on the cake. So it was cleaning day and we're all cleaning our stuff. And this girl just starts cleaning the weirdest things, like the inside of trash cans and shit that didn't need to be cleaned. And then it started getting creepy. Not weird, creepy. She put a paper towel over the drains because the voices were too loud. And then she would walk around the pod talking about death and carnage. And if you don't know what carnage means, it pretty much just means unaliving a lot of people. So this was super bad vibes, obviously. Now when you're in jail, of course people are going to ask what you're doing time for. And if you don't say, you're gonna come off as sketchy. So we're asking this girl, hey, what are you in for? And she would not give us a straight answer. Well, while she was at a visit, we went through her things, like for part 3. Part 3 about my weird cellmate. So like I said, we asked her what she was in for and she didn't answer, so we found that weird as heck. So then she went for a visit and we searched through her stuff and found her paperwork. We found out that she was in because she attempted to unalive her husband, in which he got a restraining order. So at this point, we're like, this is weird as hell and she needs to go. Like, she gotta go. So now the entire pod comes together and every single one of us wrote a letter pleading the staff to get this crazy you-know-what out of our pod. We all folded them up into little paper kites and we sent them to the guards. We were ringing the doorbell like crazy and we told them what happened and no questions asked, she was gone.
Story time on how me and my client found out we were dating the same guy. So we started talking, yada yada, how are you, da da da, all the good stuff. And so she starts talking about this guy she's been dating, and she was telling me how, if this was suspicious or not. So sis was telling me on how he had this little Vegas trip that was kind of last minute planned, and that he said he was going with his boys and she wanted to go, and he told her no, that this was strictly only going to be guys and that she would be able to go the next time. She thought it was pretty weird, but she ended up brushing it off and just wanted to let him go with his guys. And I told her like, oh, that kind of sucks, but I kind of get it, guys time, just like if it was girls time. And I had told her that I had actually just went to Vegas that same weekend too, and I was kind of having some guy problems that same weekend. I had went with this guy I'd been dating, and it was so weird because he was on his phone the entire time, glued to it, texting. He even picked up a few phone calls, and it was a little sus. Like, I thought there was another person. And then she was like, oh my gosh, like, that sucks. And she's like, imagine we're dating the same guy. And I kind of laughed. And then we just look at each other. And I'm like, what does he look like? And so sis pulls up a picture, and I immediately freeze. It's the same guy, we're dating the same guy, and I'm like, holy shit. So we freak out, and we immediately call him. Part 2 on how me and my client found out we were dating the same guy. So sis calls him, and I tell her, hang up, I have an even better idea. So she hangs up the phone, and I tell her, let's set this man up. She's all for it. I'm like, bet, let's do this. So he had actually drove her to the appointment, so this made it even better. So we came up with this plan for her to tell him that she forgot cash. She forgot that I only take cash. So this was perfect. She told him if he can go get the cash for her and give it to her. And he's like, yeah, babe, no problem. So he goes and gets the cash, and we're already finished. We're just here playing dumb. And so she tells him, hey, babe, she's still working on my nails, and I won't be able to come out and get the money, but I do need it right now. Can you come give it to me? He's like, yeah, that's fine. So he rolls in the building, and he looks for her. He sees her. He comes up to her, gives her the money, and I look up at him, and I make eye contact. He sees me. He makes eye contact, immediately looks away. The guilt's already eating him. And so I was like, hey, Jesse, how are you? And his eyes opened so freaking huge. He's like, I'm good. How are you? Acting confused. And so sis tells him, yeah, babe, how was Vegas? And his freaking eyes were huger than I'd ever seen. He starts sweating. He's starting to slur his words, and we haven't even asked him anything but that question. He's like, what do you mean, babe? She's like, I know everything. Don't sit here and act stupid. She's like, you ain't shit. I'm like, oh shit, this shit's getting good, because at this point, this is her problem. This is her boyfriend. I was just dating this man. I'm like, oh, this is getting good. The whole salon's looking. Everybody's watching. All the girls turn their heads away, and you would not believe. Sis pulls out of her purse.
Story time about the time my supposed friends tried to pull up to fight me. So I had just got off of work and picked up my kids from daycare, and I heard my doorbell ring. So of course I looked through the people and I see three of my friends, so I opened up the door. Soon as I open the door, all I hear is, I heard you this, and that. And I'm confused, so I'm like, hold up, what's going on? What you not about to do is come to my door with this bullshit after I done worked all day. So I closed my door and went to change my clothes. So when I was finished, I told my supposed friends, hold on, I gotta go pick my mama up from work because I was using her car. And what I wasn't about to do is have my mama wait while I beat her bitch up. Yup. So I left to go pick my mama up, and when she got in the car, I just ran into her about everything that was going on, and I just told her, no disrespect to you, but I'm not about to let nobody come to my house talking crazy to me and think they gonna get a pass. Like, one thing about me, I ain't no punk. You ain't about to play with me. So when we made it home, tell me why these bitches was still waiting outside my house. If y'all want to know what happened after this, let me know if y'all want. This is part 2 about the time my supposed friend tried to pull up to fight me. Okay, so like I said in part 1, these bitches was still waiting outside my house. So picture why my mama run inside and locked the door because she knew I wasn't gonna fight with my son in my hand. So I'm banging on the door, begging her to open up the door so I could put my son inside, and she says no. She really didn't want me fighting to begin with, but I was gonna do what I was gonna do, period. So I told her it's gonna happen one day, so might as well let it happen now. So she went on and opened up the door, and I put my son inside. So she calls my cousin, and before I can even go back outside, my cousin then already pulled up. So I get out there, and my supposed friend talking shit about how I want her man and how I'm jealous and this, and that. First of all, why would I want your man when your man worked for my man? Why would I be jealous when you bald head and you blame it on perms that you got when you was 2? Crazy tell self can't even think straight. So at this point, my other raggedy supposed friend tries to chime in to distract me. And guess what this bitch does next? She snuck me, y'all. Snuck me. Let me know if y'all want part 3. So this is going to be part 3 about the time my supposed friend tried to pull up to fight me. So like I said in part 2, the other raggedy friend tried to distract me while the one that was hitting on one of her broke ass man snuck me. So at this point, you done blew me because you didn't even hit me hard enough to do nothing. So you could have kept that. So we just start fighting, of course. And you know, I had to mink. So her people starting to see I'm getting the best of her. And this dude, we gonna call him Aaron. Aaron gonna have the nerve to say, let her get up, let her get up. Baby, ain't no let her get up. Ain't no let her get up. You came to my house. You should have been ready for this ass whooping your mama should have gave you a long time ago. Ain't no rules in fighting. That's what my mama always told me. So, of course, at this point, the bitch don't want to fight no more after you done pulled up to my house doing the most. More of the story, stop coming to people's house looking for some shit that you clearly ain't ready for.
Hey cousin, so I got a story time, but right now I'm using Queen Pink from Nail Me Goods. If y'all shop with her, use code JAM for money off. Okay, anyways, so last week I had a girl come in. It was her birthday or whatever, and she's showing me her dress she wearing. It's like a chrome silver dress. She into the rock star look. She's like, I want to freestyle. I'm like, okay. I show her the ideas I had. I show her my inspo pic, and I broke it down to her finger by finger. She like, oh yeah, that's cute. I'm gonna like that. So I start doing her nails, In the middle of me doing her nails, I'm like, so what you doing for your birthday? She's like, I'm supposed to be going to Houston, but I'm not no more because I got fired and I don't have no money. So now I'm looking at her like, if you ain't got no money, how you supposed to be getting these nails then? So I'm about to put the top coat on her nails, and she's like, these nails ugly, I don't like them. So this is the client whose application I'm doing right now, but this is the nails that I did and the girl that like them, but stay tuned for part 2. Okay, y'all, so I put her nails at the end of part 1, but basically, right when I'm about to put the top coat on, she like, I don't like them. I'm like, what you don't like about them? She was like, they not silver enough, and it's just not what I pictured. Mind you, I showed her think what I was gonna do. I had an inspo pic. I pulled out all the charms. I'm letting her know, like, this is what we doing. She like, okay, it's cute. I like it. As I'm doing her nails, she keeps saying they so cute, but right when they done, they not cute no more. So she was like, you not gonna take no money off? I was like, no, I'm not taking no money off, because you don't like them. You love them. So it's time to pay. She got $70 left. She pulls out 3 $20 bills, and she was like, can I cash app you the 10? I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. She cashes me the 10. She hands me the cash. I put the cash in the drawer. My next client comes, and I'm like, girl, let me recheck that money, because I don't trust her. I rechecked the money. She gave me 2 20s and a 10. So you gave me $50, but you pulled out 60. So now you owe me $10. So I charged her card for the $10, and then I texted her, and I was like, hey, you owe me $10. She was like, I didn't, because I paid a $26 deposit. Long story short, if you don't have no money, don't come and book and get your nails done. And all she had to do was stay there, and I would have helped her out.
The time a client asked me for $150. This is when I was a beginner nail tech, and I've only been taking clients for 2 to 3 months. I had a client and she was super nice, really nice. Eventually she started texting me late at night, venting to me about really personal things going on in her life. At the time I didn't understand this was meant to be a professional relationship, so I just listened to her and tried to be there for her. Then one day she DM'd me saying that she's in a situation and she needs $150 and that she will send it to me the next day at 3:30 a.m. Then she unsent it and texted my number the same thing. In the text, she also added her phone number so I could pay ID her. I texted her saying I can't loan her that. Then she asked for $40 instead and she'll add to it. I thought this was a bit much at this point, so I told her I don't think this is something you should be asking me. She apologized and said she knew she would return it. I just didn't reply. I never heard from her after that. After that experience, I realized that I really need to set up my boundaries within this business and keep things professional. Before this, I had another experience where I didn't set up boundaries, but this was